Hey guys, Jeremy here at Mywaymfg, coming to you live from the world famous Mywaymfg Research and Development Department, the #1 channel on YouTube for the past 2 years running, according to the Nielsen ratings. Everything I just said just now is a lie, but we did hit 1,000 subscribers a few months ago, so that's good, right? And I am on TV. I'm on TV more often now than Kamala Harris. That's progress. I think all could agree on that. Anyway, let me show you where I'm at today. Working on the Model T project once again. Getting real close to getting a motor mounted on there. I put the sideboard and the fender back on so I could check clearances for my belt tensioner because there is not a lot of room to do much up here. I'm clearing everything up here real good, and this pivot point on this bolt, of course, that'll get cut off, but I do seem to be missing the tire with it. So I'm gonna keep moving here with this, but let me show you this bracket I made up. It turned out pretty good. This is a piece I was making up last time when the MIG welder ran out of wire. I was welding down in here. But anyway, I had said I was gonna gusset this up here where this mold is. Instead of gusseting it, what I did is I just kind of made weld into a gusset and just welded all the way around the head of that bolt and then filled in the area underneath to, you know, essentially make a gusset. That turned out really well. I would think that would be plenty strong. I mean, we'll see, but if we find out it's not, we'll do something different, but that is a nice looking piece. It's probably the prettiest thing I've done on this whole project because I haven't been trying to do anything real pretty here. But anyway, we'll get that on there, and I'm thinking a bolt tensioner comes through this hole. That's another, no, it was like the clevis off the wheel of that floor jack. I cut one side of it off. The rest of it's laying right here, and I needed one more of these coming up off the top of the shifter, so that's going to get cut off and go right there. Man, we're not going to have much of that floor jack left when I'm done here. Anyway, keep going. I was needing something to like a bolt, like all thread to put between them two pieces for a belt tensioner. So I went upstairs where I keep the all thread and I found this piece. I had made it up for a riding lawnmower pedal assembly at one point in time. But anyway, I've got this bend on it right here and I needed something like that. And I'm wondering if this is strong enough, would the tension off that belt just tend to want to straighten it? Because as the previous use of this, it wasn't that much tension. But it's a good thing to try for right now. If we find out it don't work, we'll do something better. That's the way this whole thing is. If we find out it don't work, we'll keep doing it better. But anyway, I'm gonna finish mocking this up and try this. And yeah. I don't know, guys, we're kind of in early stages, but it's looking like that could work. So I think I'll go ahead and get some welds on there. I really think that's where it needs to be. So probably I'll try the fender one more time. Make sure the clearance still works, maybe. That's pretty well where the fender goes. I don't think we can really get too much better than that. Yeah. I'm gonna weld her up. Well, that just greatly improved our chances of this actually working. That turned out, you know, we haven't tried it yet, so we don't know for sure, but to look at it visually, it looks to me like that could be successful. So I'm liking that. And the one last thing I wanted to do here before I could call it good was put the wheel back on and check the tire clearance. It's tight, but it's gonna work. Everything clears, well, with the exception of that bolt, but that was getting cut off anyway. So I think we're good. Yeah. Need to cut a spacer to go behind the pulley, keep it centered on the belt. 1 1/8 long, a piece of 1/2 inch black pipe. That's a 5/8 bolt. This is 5/8 ID. I get the burr out of here, it should slide right over. Be able to mark this bolt and cut it off now. Took this all back off. I put a lock washer under there and got that all tightened down. That's very good. Right here, I don't know if you can see it. I got 2 pencil marks. That's the thickness of a washer. I took a center punch and put a little dent right there. I'm going to try to drill a hole for a cotter pin. So I can put a washer and a pin on the back side of this pivot. And then this piece should be done. There we go. I had to drill in low. Should have been high. Anyway, get a pin in that. I think we're good to go. I like it. Found a big cotter pin. See if we can get that in there. That's a long ass cotter pin, but hey, that's all right. Can't fall out. I got a little bit more welding to do on this bracket, but I'm going to do it while I'm down under here doing this because that's where I'm heading next. All right, I got that cross member welded in there. Got real good welds here on the front. Got chicken shit welds back there because I couldn't see what I was doing. Couldn't get my head back in there with the helmet on, you know. But I think it'll hold, especially seeing how it's pressing down. I want to get some legs built now to go from here to here, and I want to do that before I set the motor on there because it might, the weight of that motor might bow them planks and give me a false a false measurement on the leg length. So I want to get that support in there now, and then I thought next time Colton's down here, I'll have him help me carry the motor over. I might carry it by myself, but if I could, I wouldn't want to. It's pretty heavy. Anyway, looking at this, other than doing a little bit more welding on this bracket right here, this should be done. I've cut this bolt off, got a lock washer behind it, and I cut that one off and just put it together, double nutted it with a jam nut. And then if you guys remember when I was taking that clutch disc apart, I had these springs. I went ahead and put one of them springs under there. My idea is I'll just go ahead and compress that spring, lock it down with the lock nut, and then if it ever gets a little loose or something, that spring would still hold some tension on it. So this seems like a real good, that whole thing I think is really good. Very happy with that. So I think really the only other thing I want to do here is possibly try a wider belt, but I don't have one here right now. Got some burgers cooking on the new grill. Oh, that's gonna be good. Friday night. About another month maybe, warm weather, I'm hoping. One of the things I talked about in a previous video was backing this up with another piece of flat stock to make it stronger. But it's kind of one of them deals like when you're building out of wood and you nail a couple 2x4s together and it's real flimsy and weak. But then after you get the whole thing built, it's really strong. That's kind of what happened there. After I got everything in place, I realized that was most likely strong enough without having to do that. My uncle came over this morning. He's about 70. And he brought up the idea of moving this motor. And I'm like, you sure you want to do that? That's pretty heavy. Yeah, let's do it. So we grabbed a wheelbarrow, slid it off there into the wheelbarrow, rolled it over here. My son's working a lot of hours. I have a hard time getting him to help me. He don't have time. Me and my uncle got it up on there, and then he sat in a chair and huffed and puffed for about a half an hour. I'm like, you know, that was your idea, right? I didn't ask you to do this. Anyway, thanks, John. So got the motor set on there. Another thing I mentioned in a previous video was I was going to put carriage bolts down here and weld them so I had studs sticking up. I ended up not doing that because I got to thinking that board's got to get bolted down anyway. I might as well just go through everything with the bolt. And then after we got set on here, I started thinking about shifter linkage. I've got this piece kind of made up here, but I was wondering if I could put my shifter linkage between the motor and the belt. And I tried it and there wasn't room. It puts this arm too close to my next arm. I wouldn't have had enough throw to get that arm to move. On that one, I would have probably been okay, but not on this one. So I got to move it out to here. But I thought if I do end up having to put the shifter linkage there, I don't want to bolt the motor down right now because I'm going to have to be working in that area. Well, now that I know that I'm going to be working over here, I think I'm safe to just go ahead and bolt the engine in. So probably be doing that next. And I think maybe the next video is probably going to be working on this shifter linkage. That's something I've been really itching to do ever since I built the shifter. And it's probably going to be the hardest part of finishing this, so I'd like to just get it done. All right, I started doing just a little bit of work on the shifter stuff. This is my shifter arm, one of them, off the transmission. And I realized I needed a spacer on it so the two arms will clear each other. But this was just a piece of square flat stock. Anyway, I cut that off so it would look a little more factory, you know. And then I was looking at this piece and I thought, you know what would be really cool? So I ground a corner of it off. I'm just going to weld it in there like that. not only will that look good, it will maybe even help a little bit. So let me get that tacked in there and maybe blow a little paint on that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's one of them factory Henry Ford pieces there. Yeah. Anyway, I ran a piece of all thread up through the floor. Piece of 1/2-inch black pipe with a bracket welded on it. And then a piece of 1-inch sleeve in it with a bracket welded on it. This side over here, it's working real good. I don't think the other arm's in neutral right now, so it's locked. I can't change it because I got the arm off. But this one here, I was having clearance issues with it. And what I realized was I need to make this arm longer. It needs to come about out to here, which means that that piece I just made had to get extended. So I'm thinking now when I put that back on there, that's probably going to start working. And then we just got to get everything mocked up good and secure. And then the real trouble begins when we start making brackets off the bottoms of these to go over to these rods. They're going to have to be real low and clear all this clutch stuff. But I think we're going to get it. Anyway, unless something comes up and I change my mind, which could easily happen. My mind's changing continuously. At the present moment, I'm thinking the next video we're just going to dedicate to shifter and shifter linkage. Just try to get that done, you know. But anyway, got a lot done in this video, I'm thinking. So next video, maybe we can shift it, maybe not. But that's what we're going to shoot for. At least that's what I'm telling you today. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, thanks for following along. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for subscribing. Please like, comment, share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later. Jeremy.